At 72 years of age, George Duncan is both a survivor as far as harness racing is concerned, but more importantly, as far as life is concerned. I caught up with George to discuss his family career in harness racing. Well, George, good to catch up there following yet another honest performance from that wonderful mare, Birdie Gow. She's now been placed in her past 5 engagements.
Yes, mate, yeah, she's going good. She's a lovely mare and it's about as good as she can go, I think.
Yeah, they do reach their limit, but as long as she keeps performing at that level, the checks keep coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it keeps the feed bill ticking over. Yeah.
As I mentioned, 72 years young, yeah. And for nearly all of those years, you've been involved in harness racing, following in the footsteps of your dad, Bill.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, he loved the horses and he loved life, I think. Yeah.
He was only ever a hobby trainer.
Yeah, only ever a hobby trainer, and yeah, he kept busy, kept a couple going all the time. So yeah.
So just a 2 or 3, but he worked in a steelworks foundry at St Mary's for a number of years.
Yeah, he did. He worked at Utah in St Mary's, and then he went to a place in Penrith. I just can't think of its name now, but yeah.
And you followed in his footsteps to the point where you're also a hobby trainer and you've been involved with numerous jobs.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I worked on the water board for a long time, and then I worked at the UWS security for about 22 years.
And like your dad, just a few horses every now and then?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had 8 in work at one stage, but that was going a bit hard. Yeah.
And there's been a family involvement all these years, including your son David, who's the father of Vaughan. We're going to be speaking about him, and also your brother.
Yeah, brother Bill. He was interested in trotters and got a few going. Now he's into the gallops. He's got Red Fox Racing, so he buys horses and sells them out. Yeah.
Now, George, you were telling me an interesting story. Along with your brother, you learnt to read for one particular reason. Can you just run that past me again?
Yeah, me and Tony Lorenzic, he's a farrier. We spoke about it one day. I wasn't much good at school, but we learned to read so as we could read the trot guide, because that was with me for years. It broke me heart when it went to media. Yeah, used to buy it every week.
Yeah, it broke a lot of people's hearts. Of that vintage, I know the late great Colin Watts, he always had a copy of the trot guide delivered every Friday without failure. Yeah. But times had to move on, and we had to move on to the digital age.
Yeah, some of us did. Some of us didn't.
Don't worry, George, I'm just ahead of you as far as that goes. You've always had some nice horses. In particular, you've had some nice Harold Park winners.
Yeah, we have. We had Geekador, she run 4th in a Ladyship Mile, and Moneybags, he won 2 there, I think, and a horse called Riverina Bird, she won a couple there.
You rate Geekador the best of them. She was under the care of the late Paul Asnick.
Yes, she was, and he was a wonderful trainer. And they always looked beautiful when Paul trained them, yes.
Yeah, there's not too many that have got a knock on Paul Asnick when it comes to preparing horses, because he was a master conditioner. Yeah,
exactly, yes, yeah.
As far as influences in your career, George, where do we go there?
Probably my father. He always had a horse, and we was always kicking around him, so it was just a natural progression, I suppose, that we went into horses.
If there was one particular lesson you learned from Dad, what would that be?
Go and buy yearlings and don't take all the throwbacks that he used to get. Yeah, I think that was a lesson I learned.
During the course of your career, you've been involved in harness racing through various stages, and through the great period of harness racing, did you have an idol at all growing up?
Yeah, I certainly did. Kevin Newman, he was just the best. There was none better. Yeah.
Hard to go past him. He was just a master of all facets of harness racing.
He certainly was. Yep, he certainly was. Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch him. Yeah.
You also liked a joke or two, Kevin.
Yeah, he did. And a drink. Yeah, him and the old man used to, they liked the drink.
He would always greet you with a joke or a little story before he said hello. Then he'd say hello, shake your hand, but he always had something for you.
Right, yeah, no, that's good, yeah.
What about your grandson, Vaughan? Now, he's coming along very steadily. Yeah. He drove Birdie Gow for you today. Has he rejuvenated your interest in harness racing with the way he's been enjoying his career now in harness racing?
Yeah, I suppose he has. Yeah, you've got to have something for him to drive. But Brian looks after him. in more ways than one, and he'll give you. Brian says you've got to keep your name in the papers or in the form guide for people to notice you. So Brian looks after him too. Yeah.
Yeah, you're making reference there to Brian Portelli, a very calming influence on Vaughan, and also providing him with a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Brian gets him down to earth and keeps him busy. Yeah.
And that's the main thing. The youngsters, you've got to keep your feet on the ground because it's a long way from the penthouse to the other house.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, no, Brian's very good, and he treats him like a son, so that's very good.
Now, I mentioned you were a survivor in your personal life. You were given some devastating news about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, they told me I had multiple myeloma, but you just keep going on. I think the horses have got a lot to do with that. You've got to get up every morning. You've got to look after them. So I think they've got a lot to do with it.
So you get the news you've got bone cancer. That must have been devastating, not only to you but to the entire family. But they gave you a period of how long you had to live.
Yeah, they said 3 to 5, and I've gone 6 so far. So power to me, eh?
Well and truly, going strong, and more power to you, George. And as you said, you've got to have a reason to get up every morning, and harness racing provides you with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got to look after the animal, or otherwise you shouldn't have them. Yes.
So you chose to live your life to the fullest instead of just dwelling on the bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's no good going there. Sometimes you go there, but it's no good. No good for you.
You said the one thing you've learned from the whole family, going back to your dad, is you're a very laid-back bunch.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, very laid back and love a joke and doing something to someone, to upset them, and then having a laugh. Yeah, no, that's good.
So that laid-back attitude, you think's well and truly got you through this difficult period of your life?
Yeah, I think so. Just not taking it too seriously, what they tell you. And my doctor, she told me don't go on Google and have a look at anything. She said you just keep going, do your own thing. So I never have.
Well, George, you're a fine example of doing your own thing. Let's hope you continue to keep doing your own thing, and let's hope Bertie Gow can reward you very shortly with a winner.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Good to catch up with you, George.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.